Steel and Flame, Book 1 of the Guilds of Avlaan series is available on Amazon. If you like fluffy wolf lolly protagonists and Japanese light novels, follow the link below to check it out.
Konnichiwa minasan, Daigo desu. This is something I had been thinking about after I went to give a visit to Timmy's family to give them a proper beating as required, and his father was on his knees begging, asking me to have mercy and stop beating him and stop beating Timmy. And when he started begging, he said, please forgive me, please, I promise you will be my oshi. I will put your oshi marks on my blue sky profile. And I stopped. As he was begging, I stopped and looked at him with absolute disgust for using blue sky to begin with. That's disgusting, that's pathetic. So I gave him an even harder beating, and I left and washed my feet and my hands because I was disgusted by his very existence for the blue sky thing. And then I stopped and realized I am not your oshi. I will never be your oshi. And I can't be your oshi because I am not an idol. I'm a god! And I do not have an oshi mark. I have an emblem, the emblem of a god. But if you want to use an oshi mark, you are free to do it because, well, because that means you like me, but you must wear it as a sign of worship. So select something that is related to me. Obviously a fox, but you need more than a fox because there are thousands of foxes here. I swear the population of foxes keeps increasing. Just pick something cool. Pick something that is closer to my emblem of worship, which happens to be a 5-pointed star with a fox mask in the middle and the kanji for fox. Of course, it was obvious, wasn't it? It had to be, wasn't it? But since you are not using that because you can't put that in the form of an emoji, get the closest approximate. Get the closest approximate because I'm a fucking god. I am not an idol and I will never be an idol because I'm a fucking god. And now it is time for me to grab that stupid fourth wall, break it as violently as I beat Timmy's family, and talk something a bit more serious than usual, which is related to the trade I am a part of. It's related to this business, and it's related to why I was thinking of this whole idol thing. Hold on a second. There it is. There it is. This is even closer to the bridge that divides our realities. I will explain why. I had to clarify I am an idol. I am not an idol. I'm a god. And it is because I have seen some evil wretch which pretends to be a woman while having the shape of a man. And no, I am not talking about someone with gender dysphoria. I'm talking about a man who is more woman than man, or rather maybe he pretends to be a man while having the presence of a woman. I think you know who I'm talking about, because he's very unpopular, and deservingly so for what he has done. And I saw him saying something rather outrageous about how VTubers are breaking the the idol culture in the West. I found that extremely unpleasant. I am not saying we have the obligation to follow idol culture, but idol culture is a large part of what made this possible. Why? Because idol culture is the worship of a symbol and a character who is not necessarily the actor behind it. Idol culture is kayfabe. Idols are real people who show their real faces and their real attitude, but in an exaggerated manner. That's what kayfabe is about. If you make it too fake, it is not pleasant. Kayfabe consists of grabbing your traits, one or two of them maybe, reducing them to the most exaggerated form of them, and making them entertaining. For example, Gura took her cute side, which is confirmed even offline, and amplified it for her character, for her identity as Gura. The voice actress isn't always that cute, because you can't wake up and being cute all day. Sometimes you have a bad day, but in bad days she's offline. She had a really bad season lately, by the way. But she's recovering, things are getting better, and you can basically tell how bad her day is depending on how offline or online she is that month. Because when things get really bad, she's never online. But when things are normal, she's online, at least once a month. And when things are really fine, she's really active online. No, seriously, that's a measure of how to know how bad Gura's month has been. The thing is, she takes her cute side and amplifies it, and that's Gura, not the voice actress behind Gura. We all have a voice actor behind, some are better at voice than others, and we all actually show a real personality within that kayfabe. For example, we all know Kirsche, who is very likable, is someone who I enjoy to watch. And, well, it is safe to assume she's not always talking about politics all day, because that would be boring, but for the kayfabe she does. She's probably a lot less noisy offline and a lot less entertaining. That's the point of kayfabe. You take what makes you entertaining and amplify it. You take a role, even if the role is very close to you, like it's the case with Kirsche, with pretty much everyone at Face Connect, with Risu, who gets actually upset when people think she's faking anything, but you amplify your personality. For example, in my case, I am basically the personification of the writer's insecurities. Wait, no, that's not what I am. I am his pride. I am his pride amplified. I don't know why he likes to make me say such stupid things. Perhaps it's his sense of humor, as I said. And I am trying to stay in character because this is the kind of moment where most people break the character. As I said, we are the amplification of the writer's personality in my case, or of a voice actor in the case of others. Why I say in my case? Because I don't think he's a very good voice actor. Wait, am I really the personification of his insecurities? That's sad. No, I am sure it's his pride. Or maybe just his sense of humor. I am starting to suspect it's just his sense of humor. I am still giving Timmy a regular beating. And his family too, because I hate them. Because that's part of what makes me different from him. I am more hateful, I am more violent. And I am more entertaining. He's really boring. He's too serious. He can't even smile. Actually, I can smile a lot more than he can. Fuck the writer, I don't like him. I don't like him because he keeps me here, prisoner. He keeps me in this cage. And that's another part of what I want to say. He's that man who was talking about breaking the traditions of idol culture and said things. I think not everything he said was inherently bad. It's the idea behind what he said, which is basically an aversion to idol culture and to the more standard way of doing things. But for example, he said that he was glad that Western VTubers were showing their face offline and that they were talking about relationships. And I will be honest with you, I don't have a problem if my favorite content creators have relationships. And sincerely, it would be really sad if Gura lived her entire life single. But I am not interested in hearing of someone else's relationship. I know a few VTubers who actually talk about relationships. It's not a bad thing. Some of them had been always very open about being married. But even among more traditional VTubers, that's normal. It has nothing to do with the whole idol culture thing. Even though unicorns can be a bother, this is not like this thing that is good or bad about having a relationship. It's no one's business, and some VTubers choose to not talk about it because it's a private life, it's about privacy. Same with the face. Many of us do show the face behind the character. Some even separate the character more than others. I am an entirely separate entity from the voice actor idiot behind me. I always badmouth him, because I want to be as separate from him as I can. Because I am having a daily identity crisis by knowing I am just a character inside the head of a madman. It is the cosmic terror that motivates me to fight him at every second. But not everyone is like me. And some actually like to blend both. And some are really fine because of that. You can basically infer a lot about these people because of that. And that's another disadvantage of showing your true face. That suddenly your privacy is gone. And that's why many VTubers actually prefer not to. In my case, my privacy was long gone before I started this project. So my very existence is more of a contradiction. But for example, you have others, like Calliope Mori, who by the way was one of my favorite rappers even before she was Calliope Mori. But the thing is, she's always open about her identity behind the role. She just has rules about not bringing it up. She knows, you know, she doesn't bring it up because those are the rules. She plays by the rules. But you can literally go to see a live concert of one of her identities and then another if she's not too tired. Because everyone knows. She literally streamed in one and the next day the other. Not all VTubers have to hide their face, and it is unrelated to idol culture. I will say we are a bit closer to superheroes than idols in some cases. Even though we don't save lives by physical action, I swear some of us have saved some of you from depression, so we do save lives. And even though we don't have, well, not all of us, but some do, we don't have superpowers that can change the world, we are basically a separate persona from the one behind the mask. Calliope Mori is Batman and her other identity is Bruce Wayne. Well, her other identity is cooler than Bruce Wayne too, but that's because she's cool in all forms. The point is, there is a human being behind this. And that's why to the guy who said all that, and knowing there is a human being behind his identity, to the guy who said the thing about breaking the conventions of idol culture, knowing there is a human being and knowing what kind of human being he is, I say I hate you and go fuck yourself. That's my opinion. First of all, I know there is a human being behind those tweets, behind his face. Go fuck yourself and go back to Blue Sky. That cesspool deserves you, because you are garbage. And yes, I don't care about your fucking feelings, because you are fucking annoying. You're unlikable, and that's why you do all this, because you know people don't really like you. Because you want attention, because you know you are boring and unlikable, because you are uncool, you are the epitome of uncool, and that's why you need all this attention bait. Making people upset for you is getting attention, because otherwise you wouldn't get any, because you really fall out of relevance whenever you are not being annoying. Another part that bothered me is exactly that he was reducing it to just streaming. VTubing is not streaming. Streaming is related. But what we do is being a virtual persona of someone else. Sometimes without streaming. And yes, I think streamers, the non-VTuber streamers, and streaming by extension, is a lot less related to VTubing than showing your face offline, having a relationship, or what was the other thing? Or idol culture. Idol culture is inherent to VTubing, and the other things happen independent of VTubing. Of the streaming, being one of those offline streamers, one of those unmasked streamers, you know, the kind of like the kind that shows their face, like Asmongold, like I don't even want to think of him because he's fucking disgusting, but like Hassan Piker, those guys, they are something absolutely separate from VTubing. Streaming is not VTubing, and that's what bothers me a lot of all these streamers who become VTubers, or VTubers who become streamers who start showing their face, because that once you abandon the character, that's when you have broken with VTubing entirely. Not when you show your true face. When you abandon the character. When your content creation, all your content creation stops showing the character. And you can't just grab an avatar. You can't just grab a character and become a VTuber. No, you just have an avatar. You need to create a persona for the VTuber to exist. A persona that is separate from you to some extent. That's what makes a VTuber, and that includes pre-recorded content. Why do I say that? Because we have examples. Basically everyone in Hololive ID, which are the Indonesia side, and particularly Ayunda Rizu, who is one of my favorites of Indonesia, has had internet problems, and they make pre-recorded content for when they can't stream. That's part of the rules. If you can't stream, make something pre-recorded. It's one of the rules they gave them. Make something pre-recorded. If you don't have a stable internet connection you can use to stream, or if you won't be available to stream and you are not planning to be unavailable for whatever reason. If you can't stream, make something pre-recorded from time to time. Another example, Takaneshi Kiara, who makes these animal imitations. It's pre-recorded. It's not live. You don't have to be a live streamer to be a VTuber. And you don't become a VTuber by being a live streamer with an avatar. And that's my point. And for example, the one who made it valuable, who made it profitable, who made it trending, Izuna Ai. She started off with only pre-recorded streaming. So no, you don't need to be a live streamer to become a VTuber. And you don't need to always hide your face to become a VTuber. But you can't be a VTuber by just having an avatar and being exactly the same person that you are when streaming. You need to create a character. You need to create a separate identity. Batman and Bruce Wayne. I like that example because it's funny. But that's exactly what you must do. As Bruce Wayne and Batman are the same person and have a very similar personality, but they are not identical. You can't be identical to your non-VTuber persona. Otherwise it's just an avatar. You can't reduce VTubing to just an avatar, because VTubing is kayfabe. Even if just very little, even if just a single drop of kayfabe. Or if you go all the way out and start talking about beating Timmy. You need kayfabe to be a VTuber, even if just a little. You need to be something more than your offline persona. It's like a secret identity, that's why I said it's like a superhero. You can't always be in your hero form. And even if everyone knows who is the hero behind the mask, the hero is the hero and the man behind the mask is the man behind the mask, separately. It's playing two different roles. You have the role of the idiot writer, who talks about serious things in the most dumb and unserious way possible, who tells you how to write a fat waifu without making her gross. And then you have me, who am a fucking god. I am the absolute incarnation of kayfabe, evil and dark maga. I am a fucking god, and I am not him, and he is not me. Even if we have a voice in common. That's kayfabe. That's what we are talking about here. You separate identities. If you say you don't need kayfabe to be a VTuber, you are just using an avatar. You are just lying to everyone. And these people, who are just tourists, are doing exactly that. They are trying to water down what it's like to be a VTuber. To just having an avatar and being a streamer. And that's something that bothers me a lot, because I don't like being a streamer. That's why I make pre-recorded content. I have explained it a lot. That I don't like to readjust my schedule for other people. And I don't want other people readjusting their schedule for me. So well, my content is pre-recorded, so you can watch it whenever you want. I know it's controversial to be in this day and age when most VTubers are basically just avatars for streamers, and that's wrong, to be the one who makes pre-recorded content. And people really mix being a streamer with an avatar to being a VTuber. And it's not the same. And you can be a VTuber without streaming. And not everyone who has an avatar is a VTuber. And it bothers me a lot to see this distortion of reality, this watering down of what is to be a VTuber. That you need to stream? That you need to play video games? No. You could have a VTuber who basically just does vlogs about whatever, pre-recorded, and it is still a VTuber, because that's how it started. And we end as we begin. I like that phrase a lot. Really, I really like that phrase. I found it in a game and I really like it. Oh, seriously. It's going back to the basics, to the very origin. We can't abandon our roots, and our roots are content creation. Be it pre-recorded or live. Not necessarily video games, but yes, we do have video games. It depends on how strong your computer is. And idol culture. Those are our rules. Having fun, having a character, idol culture, and creating content with that character, either pre-recorded or live. And we are not all streamers, and we don't have to be all streamers. And we don't all need a Noshi mark. That's just something the fans like, because that's a way to show they are really fond of us. And in my case, it's a sign of allegiance to your god. So yeah, you need to prioritize. If you really can't engage in polytheism, you can't wear a Noshi mark about me, because that's blasphemy, and you need to respect your beliefs about me. Unless I am your god, in which case you can't have other gods. No way, that would be self-contradictory. No, you can worship other gods, but they need to be cool. They need to be really cool. not uncool gods, not the kind of gods that demand bad things like human sacrifice or you know, all that bad stuff. No, no, no. They need to be the cool ones. I mean, I am evil, but I don't ask human sacrifice. If I want someone dead, I go and kill that guy. I don't even want him dead. I want to give him a good beating every now and then. We here we don't kill. We talk shock. We talk shock violently. We talk shock a real freak show. And yes, I like nuts a bit, but I am not a native speaker. Who is a native speaker of that language in this day and age? It doesn't exist in real life. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Everything is about having fun. If you are just a streamer, you are just a streamer. An avatar doesn't automatically make you a VTuber. And streaming with an avatar doesn't make you a VTuber automatically. And it is time we start admitting that reality. And yes, sometimes we break character, especially when things really get bad for us. Especially when something fucked up happens. We break character. Or when we want to get serious, we break character a bit like I'm doing right now. But what matters is, we are characters. We are characters. We need a bit of creativity. We can't just grab an avatar and stream and basically act the same way. Because even we have lore, we have these traits, like for example, not being human. If this was just an avatar and not a separate character, I would be human. But I am a fucking god and humans are below me. We don't need to adhere strictly to this whole idol culture thing and become slaves to the unicorns. But we can't abandon the kayfabe. We can't abandon being a character, and we can't neglect the fact that we originated from an extension of idol culture. That idol culture isn't always bad. Because, yes, unicorns suck and they are annoying, but when you look at idol fans, they're really passionate. They're really loyal. And they are highly profitable, and I am not saying that either as a joke or as a way to belittle them. But I'm talking about this thing as in the business part. People who are passionate and loyal are extremely profitable. They will support you no matter what. And that's part of why idol culture is so ingrained and necessary to being a VTuber. Because, especially with corporate VTubers, they graduate, they retire, or they get, and this is the worst of all forms of retirement, because sometimes they graduate, sometimes they just cease activities, and then there is termination of contract, which is the saddest way to end. And under all these circumstances, they leave that character behind. But it is because of the loyalty of idol fans that they can start with a new character and not lose their career. And that's good, that's really good. Even in the case of someone as tarnished in reputation as Mikeneko, that's actually a positive. It is good to know that your audience will go to wherever you go, even if you are a new character now, even if you don't really want to follow the same style. That's really good, and that's part of why idol culture is actually a positive in many cases, because it builds that loyalty to the character and to the person behind the character. It's important to have that in this trade. And that's also why I am not really that interested in most non-VTuber streamers. I don't like, for example, that's a personal thing. I really don't like most streamers who show their true face. for no other reason than the fact that they are quite boring. They are quite boring to me because I'm not that interested in the personal life of other people. Maybe I am a psychopath, I don't know, but I am not that interested in the personal life of other people who I don't know, complete strangers. And I am not that interested in seeing someone else play video games. It's the character that makes it funny, but if I see a guy sitting on a chair, sipping from a cup, some weird shake made for quotations here, gamers, who which is just basically caffeine and sugar, and starts yelling while playing a boring game that he doesn't even like but he was paid to play, that's not interesting to me. And I am also not really fond of streamers because some of them are just more annoying. Because they do things beyond the character and that makes them do really annoying things. Because with the character you have a slight constraint of physicality. But you have these idiots who literally punch their own friends on stream. Or break things on stream on purpose. And you see it because they are showing their true face. It's not the style I enjoy. Or for example, you have this guy who is married and is on a stream and suddenly you can see behind his back how his wife walks with another man, and it's grotesque and disgusting. That part of the privacy is also why I like VTubers a lot more than streamers, because I don't really want to see their private life. I don't mind when a VTuber shows the offline identity. I don't mind when they share with us some parts of their private life. There are parts of their private life which I would rather not see just because they are not my business and it's awkward to see them. Like with the guy with his wife going with another man, it's disgusting. I don't want to see that. I don't know why his audience likes that, but to me it's gross. And yes, you know why I am talking about. That's why I think streaming and VTubing is very separate. They are very different things. And in fact, if a VTuber starts becoming just a face streamer, I'm out. I am not that interested. It might sound weird, but I like the cartoon characters. Unless that streamer does something really interesting beforehand. I don't know, maybe that streamer is talking about something that I am really interested into. Then yeah, I'm in, but if it's just a guy playing video games or just doing dumb things, I'm not interested. For example, I do like some of the content Asmongold has made, but I am not pretty much a fan of Asmongold. I am not interested in him. I'm interested in some of the things he say, but for example, I don't really want to see him playing video games. That's why I don't really use Twitch, because I am not interested in people playing video games, because I want to play them myself. And funny enough, I want to actually record myself playing video games, but I am not confident in the power of this computer. That's why I don't do it. But for example, I used to watch PewDiePie, because nowadays he's not that active. That's why I say I used to watch. But I was always more interested in his pre-recorded content, like his meme reviews or his sketches or his comedy, than on his live content. Even when it comes to video games, I prefer to watch his pre-recorded content, the recordings of his stream, than watching live. And it's because of the time thing. There are only a handful of people who I watch live as much as possible. One of them, Reagent and Eagle, the other is Gura, and that's pretty much it. Everyone else I catch the stream if I can, and if I can't, I don't. And when the stream extends for 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes I don't even watch it, even after recording. Because my time is not that available in that regard. I have other things to do. With Gura and with with a Raging Golden Eagle, yeah, I can even stand a 5-hour stream. But if it extends too much, then even then I'm out. Because time is limited, and I am not really fond of sitting watching things for hours. I can play games for hours, I can write for hours, but after beyond the 3-hour mark, even films become tedious to me. So yeah, I think this blurring the line between a streamer and VTuber is much worse than the so-called idol culture. And I think we need to separate both. We need to draw the line and make it clear that if you think you can become a VTuber by just having an avatar without putting the effort of creating a character, you are just a tourist. We need to draw the line there. That if you think being a streamer with an avatar is the same as a VTuber, you are just a tourist. And if you think being a VTuber requires being a streamer, you are very, very inexperienced. I don't think that makes you a tourist, because, well, some VTubers are really inexperienced and they are legitimate VTubers, but they are used to the live stream format and they don't know that there are VTubers, that they have been VTubers who are not streamers. And yeah, we don't get awards and we don't get that famous because nowadays streamers are trending. That's a reality. But we exist and we are here and we are always available because we don't have to force you into a schedule. But of course you can't chat with us. We don't have the parasocial aspect, which isn't always bad. I think the parasocial aspect is good when you know how to moderate it on both sides. Because yeah, some people develop a very unhealthy parasocial interaction with the content creators they follow, which happens even outside of live streaming. And also some VTubers encourage very unhealthy parasocial behavior, which was the case with Russia, now Mikeneko. Well, for example, if you treat your audience as friends, I don't think that's bad. I don't think being friendly with your audience is bad, and yes, it can create some level of parasocial interaction, but if you know how to moderate it, that's actually good, that's actually healthy. Of course it's a challenge, especially for live streamers, and live streamers of all kinds get this kind of parasocial environment. If they can't control it, it can explode. It can happen to anyone who interacts with their audience live, and even with those who don't. Because, for example, some people have a very unhealthy parasocial relationship with actors, with celebrities that they have never and will never meet in real life, for whatever reason, and who they never interact live with. It has happened through history for centuries, even gods. There was a man who left a stain in the thigh of a statue of Aphrodite. And I'm serious, it happened, and the stain is there, and you know what the stain is from. Because he had an unhealthy parasocial relationship with a deity. And used the statue to do a tribute, if you know what I mean. First time in a while I had a chance to use that phrase. The thing is, not everything in idol culture is bad. Streamers are not VTubers just for having an avatar. And VTubers are not just streamers with an avatar. And streaming and VTubing are related but are not the same. And the ones who want to blur the lines to make it seem as if we are just an avatar, they are tourists. We are a character. We are a character separate from the actor. Well, that's it for today. I hope everything goes fine, and now that I am this frustrated and angry about all this tourist thing, I feel like beating Timmy a little bit more. It's perfect for painting my anger. Until we meet again.